Hello everyone, this is Betsy from Ideas Times 2, and today I have a couple things for you. I have a flip through of this journal, which will be for sale in our Etsy shop, and then afterward I have a tutorial. Give you a little information on how I'm going to finish this book. So the tutorial will be on charms. I wanted to put some charms on this book and I couldn't find any that I looked through my stash and I couldn't find any that I thought would be good for a chocolate themed journal, which is what this is. I even went to the store and I couldn't find any either. So I'll show you what I came up with for charms. I thought, well, this is ridiculous. I can make my own charms. I mean, right? We can do this. So I'll let you know what I came up with for charms, give you maybe some ideas. So this journal, let me see here. It's a repurposed book cover, so it's a hard cover. I've covered it with fabric and batting, so it's a little bit of a quilty feel to it. I made a flap, an outside flap that wraps around, and it is also a quilty feel to that. It has batting inside. So it is 6 7/8 by 9.5 inches, and the spine is roughly 2 inches, 2 1/4 inches. It has 2 signatures which are sewn directly into the spine, and roughly 76 pages. I sometimes don't count book pages or short pages, so 76 plus pages. And then it has a 3-page pull-out at the end. So let's see. This is just nice and collaged up. There's a metal book plate here. This flap has magnets, and so it stays shut. Remember, there's a flap on the back too, and when I hold it like this, it does not pop open. So those are shut with magnets. I'll probably wrap this with silk too, just for fun, but it shouldn't need any silk. Unless you start stuffing the book, then maybe some silk would be nice. So we'll wrap that with silk. So you open up this flap, and there are several other elements inside of here, little pockets and tags and a little collage there. And then when you come to the back, it's the same thing. There are little spots where we've got things tucked in. So here's a side with 3 little pieces of ephemera, little side tuck, and then this is a tuck too. Lots of sewing. Pages are coffee dyed. I used digitals from Poppiness on Etsy and Digitalartem on Etsy as well. So, and I also used a book that I had gotten at the antique mall, and the book was only $1, but it was a history of chocolate. So it had some beautiful pages and fun facts. It was just a really cool book. So I have a tag with a label down there. This is one of the digital pages, so I folded that up for journal spot. And this is an envelope tuck, so it has a button and string closure down here. Opens up, and we've got some ephemera tucked in there. This is all collaged. Alright, so pages. For example, this is part of the book where they had dates and then fun facts regarding chocolate. So it was a very interesting book. I wanted to read it before I chopped it all up, but I never had a chance to do that. It was a very fun book. So there's yarn. I'm just going to make this very quick so we can get on to the tutorial. Things tucked in. I've used some scrapbooking paper, book pages, and the digitals. This is collaged here, washi tape. I had a book on chocolate, or quotes, and many of them were regarding chocolate. So there's a cluster, and collaged up, book page, silk sewn on. I made this into a double pocket. So these things tuck in. These digital, or these ephemera cards, I just glued right onto the page. Here's the digital paper pocket with fun stuff and a bag with another item tucked in. Some papers. Another quote. This is the center of the signature, so I took these out of the book, some of those fun dates that we had. Another quote, some collaging here. This envelope is from the Digitalartem kit. And I just tucked in some little ephemera cards there. Another digital page, a little cluster down here. I dyed this lace with some Rit dye, which was called Cocoa Brown. Some fabric stitched on there. Some fun Chocolate Factory images here that I just stitched on. The other part of the book page. This is a slotted pocket that I made out of a time card. These time cards we do have for sale on our Etsy shop. They come in handy. They're such a nice weight for pockets and tags, etc. Little booklet. This is jelly print. I just made that into the book cover. I tried to tie like the red, orange, and yellow on this page here. So we have an altered receipt and ephemera card. Some lace sewn onto this tuck spot here, and it's just some fun things tucked in there. Lots of places to write. This is stenciling, done in different shades of brown. This came from the cover of a book, and I coffee stained it and grunged it up a little bit, but it's a quote by Charles M. Schulz regarding chocolate, so I thought that was fun. This is a tag that I made this into a belly band, used some aged tape, and made that into a belly band there. A large tag. I might put the clip down here a little ways. And then this is a tuck spot, another one of the chocolate quotes, and I've just made those into journal cards. Second signature, so this is collaged up, digital page, little washi, a pocket with a cluster on there, and collaged pocket. Book page, this is tracing paper that I dyed with Rit dye, the same dye I mentioned, the Cocoa Brown Rit dye. This is stitched on and coffee stained lace there. Another quote with some short pages. I've put a label here. This is a book page as well. It's from Chocolate Rabbit book, so it's just so cute, and I thought that would be kind of fun in there. Little fabric stitched on. This is an old magazine advertisement for the Tootsie Roll company, which may be M&M Mars now or something. I don't really know, but they used to have these types of candies, and I thought that would be cool on there. And I put some scrapbooking paper on the back. This is a side collage. Some more fun stuff tucked in. This is a book page too, and I just thought all these cute little Hershey's illustrations were fun, so I put that in there. Digital page right in the middle. Another envelope with some things tucked inside. This is a short page, the other side of that magazine advertisement, and I just made that into a torn pocket. And there's the coupon. Well, let's see when it expired. Do they have an expiration date on it? No. And it is the Tootsie Roll company. Let's see. Oh, here it is, right here. It just says, oh no, that's not a date. That's, nope, it doesn't have a date on it. I was curious, but I have the magazine tucked into a spot behind me, so, but I think it was the 1950s. There is a cluster, short page with another tiny little spot for something extra. Little collaging here. This is a word I just took from one of the ephemera cards. The other side of that tracing paper, the book page. This is a wraparound belly band. And here's a time card that I altered and put collaging on it, made a tag, nice big tag. This is all collaged here and stitched. This side of the belly band has a folded paper in coffee dye. All right, So the other page of that digital sheet that I had, tuck spot, all kinds of fun stuff. Oh, okay, here, surprise! Here's the back, and I made a fold out. You've seen Cindy and I have had these before. I think Cindy had a tutorial on it. If she did, I will link it down below, and that way you can check to see how we did this. I think she got the idea from Wendy's Journal Adventures, and I have tied it with silk. So I glued the silk underneath, so it just, that's the closure. You just wrap it like that. It wouldn't necessarily have to have a closure, but I thought it would be a fun thing to do, is just tie that for decorative element. So what it is, let me scoot the book over a little bit. It flips out like this. And this has 3 sides there, and since it's glued directly onto the cover, the back has 2 sides. So let me just quickly go over what we have here. So we've got lots of ephemera cards tucked into that pocket. This is scrapbooking paper that had obviously truffles on it, so yum. This is a side tuck here with an envelope, a tiny tag, and there are ephemera cards inside of there. And then this one has a large side tuck with a folded sheet. It's folded in fourths, and it's been inked and sprayed, so it's got a nice little vintagey look to it. And then you come back like this, and then you flip it over, and there are 2 more pages. I made these out of chocolate ephemera card. I just dropped a couple things. I hope that wasn't important. And then I grunged up these tags, and I didn't collage on them because I thought they came out they were just so fun and grungy. I just left them the way they were. This is actually a chocolate bar wrapper. I'd been to a market with my family, and they sold these homemade chocolate bars, and they were made right here in Cincinnati. So we splurged and bought that. It was absolutely delicious. Maverick Chocolate Company, delicious. So I made it into a flip, so that flips open, and there's a fun little pocket with a collage tag under there. So then that closes back up and just ties right in a bow. All right, that's my journal, and I want to put some charms on here. So let me show you what I came up with. When I thought about it, I was thinking how goofy it was that I was spending all this time trying to find charms when I knew I could make my own. So I just came up with a few ideas, and I will show you how to make a couple of these. And some of them are pretty self-explanatory, so I'm going to zoom in just a tiny bit so you can see. I'll just go over the ones I made with just plain old string. So if you have string and buttons, or string and a few beads, you can make some little charms. So you just basically use my bookbinding string and a tiny seed bead with some buttons. And this has, I found these a while ago, these beads, and they were half price at Hobby Lobby, but I just thought they were like when you have cocoa and you've got like whipped cream swirling in it, or like the colors were so pretty. Let me show you those beads. Or coffee, you know, with cream swirling in it. It's like, they were just so pretty. And they reminded me of chocolate, so swirling, like when you bake. Anyway, so that's that. And then I made the string extra long and just attached a little button on that one. So those are ones I just made with string and buttons. This is the same idea, only I used a head pin. So if you have a few jewelry making supplies, this is a head pin, and it is basically, it looks like a stick pin. It has a little head at the bottom, and you string your beads or buttons or whatever on here. You clip off your excess and make a loop at the top, and you've got a nice little charm. And then so several of the ones I made with the head pin. And then I attach, always on these other ones too, I attach a jump ring at the top so that you can actually attach it to either a piece of lace or a paper clip, but it has to have a loop of some kind at the top so you can attach it. And this is basically made the same way. I just had different beads. This one in the center is actually just plastic. I had another project that I had done with plastic, those plastic beads. So, and then these are just tiny. There's a seed bead, and this is, and I don't even know what that is, but it's like copper colored. I thought it was really pretty. And then I have a bead cap at the top. And I don't have any more of those. That was the only one I had, but I really like the look of that. And I think when I go to the store and I'm looking at beads, or when I'm in that jewelry section, I might pick up some more bead caps because I thought it made it look really finished and polished. So here's another one using a head pin and just strung the beads. This is those nice rectangular ones that I showed you. So those, you know, in the browns to go with my coffee journal, just in case I'm going to use those. And then I just, you know, you just get going. And so that one is just a seed, 2 little seed beads, and then sort of a see-through bead there, more gold colors. This was a button. I put glossy accents on it, which is a Ranger product. It's like a resin, like a little resin, very, very strong. You can use it as glue. If you need to have something that's super secure, you can use it as glue, but it is a resin. And so on a button, I didn't put a jump ring on this. On a button, I put a layer of the glossy accents. I made sure to leave one of the holes without any resin in it, so I could put a jump ring around it. But I didn't put a jump ring. I don't know why. And this, I just attached a paper flower on that. I thought that was cute. Here's another one with buttons and beads. So it's a 2-hole button, and I attached a large jump ring through one hole with my smaller jump ring for attaching, and then I put a large jump ring through the bottom hole and made my little bead on a head pin. I just strung my beads on there, made a loop at the top, and then this would attach like that. I really like that one. Here is, let's see, here are some simple ones that I think are really cute, and I've used this before many times. So this is a garment pin or a bulb pin, and I just put some seed beads on it. There are also a couple of Swarovski crystals on there too, but I tried to keep everything sort of cocoa colored. So there's that, and that can just attach by opening the pin and sticking it through either a little piece of fabric or lace, or if you have an eyelet that you've put on your journal, sometimes you can put a tab on the page with an eyelet in it, and then you can thread your charms through that, and I think that is lovely. Love that. And this isn't just a little gold safety pin, and I attached the little bead unit onto just the coil of the safety pin. So there's that one. Here is one. I had bezels, so I'm pretty sure I got these at Hobby Lobby, half price, and so this would be $2 for 30 of these little bezels, and they're 15mm bezels. So I love those. So what a bezel is, it has a little cavity, and you're supposed to put, you know, your fun stuff in there to make a charm or a pendant for a necklace or a bracelet or something like that. So what I did was I put glossy accents in the cavity, and then I just stuck tons of little seed beads in there, and then I don't know if you can see it, but I also put a star. It's a little filler, what do they call those? It's a little filler bead for a bracelet or something. I know that's not what it's called, but I can't think of the name right now. So it's a little star. So, and the star was silver, and also these bezels, as you noticed, were silver. So I just took my I have alcohol ink and sprays, but I also have a few markers. So this is an alcohol, a Copic marker, and you can coat metal with those. So I made that. It looks a little steampunky. I kind of like it. There's all kinds of browns on that. Okay, and then these are made out of paper. And I have been making these for a while. My granddaughter and I made a bunch of Christmas ornaments. I got the idea from Happy Bird's Glitter Nest a couple years ago, and we had made these ornaments. And I think Andrea, I'm not positive, but I think Andrea Allen, Artie Mays, and Tracy Fox have tutorials on this style, maybe. I will link their videos if I can find them. But I saw some pictures and I thought, hey, that looks kind of like a similar technique. So this is chipboard, and I covered it with I had a scrapbooking paper that has candy jars. I think this is a Bow Bunny kit. And you can see this one right here is this. So I've aged it up a little bit with ink and attached the paper onto 2 layers of chipboard, only because my chipboard, it's like the back of a notebook, so it's not too thick, and I wanted it to be really sturdy, so I glued 2. Well, I'll show you how to do this. I'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. So I have 2 that I glued together, 2 layers of the chipboard, and then this is cardstock on the back and cardstock on the front. So what I did was used ink to age it all up, and I attached a jump ring here, and then a smaller jump ring with my little bead cluster there, and just put those, and that'll be a nice little charm. I think that will definitely go on the book. This one is a little big to hang from the side, but it could be good for a tassel or something you hang on off the spine. Or it could be part of a collage even, but for now, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to use this, but I had just little images I cut from all the little pieces I have from my digital kits and different things that I used. So I had all those, and then before this is covered with glossy accents, and then before the glossy accents dried, you can see the glossy accents. It makes it a little shiny. I pushed in some little Swarovski crystals there, just for a little interest on that. But you could almost do like a little collaging here and make it more three-dimensional. So there's that. So I now have, just by looking through my stash and looking for some fun things, I have all these charms I can use now. But I thought I would show you how I make probably more like this one. We'll just go ahead and make a couple things, and I'll show you how I make these as well. You can use embossing powder, but you would need a stick, like Versamark, a sticky ink. You would need the embossing powder, and probably a couple different colors if you're interested in, making it with a couple tones or clear. And you would need the heat gun. So I thought, well, that's kind of complicated. It is kind of easier to show you how to do it with glossy accents, but either way is phenomenal. This way you do have to wait for it to dry, so that's the downside. but overall, I think it's very easy and fun. Okay, so to make a bead charm, all right, so let me get out some tools. You do need several jewelry making tools. Make it super nice. Trying to find my clippers. Okay, so I have a rounded pliers, I have sort of a needle nose plier, and then I have a wire clipper. So this, as I mentioned, is a head pin, and you'll just take so I'm not going to necessarily do browns here. I'm thinking about, I just pulled together a bunch of little doodads that I had. Maybe I will make brown. That's pretty cute. All right, so a lot of times these bigger beads have bigger holes and the eye pin is not big enough to prevent it from going through. And so now this one it looks fine. But now I've gotten used to putting a little seed bead at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's see, what color should I take? I'll do like this off-white one. So there, I just put the off-white seed bead on there. Now I'm just going to put this pretty lamp bead that I have. All right, and then let's see, what else should I do here? Well, maybe I'll do just a couple seed beads. I'm going to do that off-white one to sort of give it a uniform look there. Is that it? Maybe that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, so now I have a little dangly thing that I can use. What I usually do is make it a thumb's width, and then make sure I have a thumb's width of wire here, and then I'll clip the rest off. So please be sure. In fact, I would highly recommend using something to cover up your hand, so that, because this wire will go flying. So either hold it way far away from you, or sort of hide it underneath a cloth and then just clip that off. Okay, so it stayed on my clippers, but it normally doesn't. It normally goes flying, so please be careful with that. All right, I made a mess. Okay, so now we're done with those clippers, and then we're gonna, all right, my camera shut off, but we were on this. We're gonna make a loop now at the top, so I'm using my rounded pliers, and I'm gonna grab the end of that and just literally roll it. Give it a few millimeters, and then roll it again. And roll it until it's tight up against the bead that you have. Okay, so we made a little loop at the top, and now it's ready for a jump ring so that we can attach it. See if I can find a little bit bigger one. So I'm going to take my pliers, the regular needle nose ones, separate that out. And I know there are fancier tools that you can use for jewelry making, but I just have the basic. There's loop makers and all kinds of stuff, but these are just the basic ones. So I just threaded that jump ring on there, and now I'm closing the jump ring back up. I did a pretty good job with one plier, but sometimes you can take two pliers and push the ends back together. So there we've got a little dangly charm we can use. So that's the one type. Many of the ones that I made are just that very simple process. And if I'm using buttons, it was the same. It's the same idea. Just use rings to attach everything. Okay, so now let's do one of these quickly here. So what I do to find an image, I had used, you know, the kits I was telling you about, and so I'll just look through the ephemera cards and look for smaller images. I showed you that I used the scrapbooking paper for the one. This scrapbooking paper has little candies on it and then words on the back, and there are a lot of chocolate words on here. There's other things too, like apple pie, etc. But okay, so like here, this would be fun to do, to cut out just like a small portion of this. I was trying to find an oval. I don't have a lot of punches. I have several. I'm not complaining, but I have several. but I couldn't find, I thought an oval punch would be cute on here to cut that out. I have a round punch that I think will work on this. So I'm just going to cut, you know, I don't want it to be too big. I want them to be pretty small. Now, if I'm not working on my chocolate journal, I came across this one. Let me see here. I'll show you. Look at this. So this is a scrap because I just made a bee journal. But look, if I take, okay. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. No wonder. So if I take the bee, oops, that was too big. This one's the right size. If I take the bee, look at that. Isn't that cute? You can make a little bee charm on that. So just find a little image from the papers you've been working on. Okay, so now these stamps are too big, I think, but you could shrink this down when you copy it. Copy it at maybe 60% or something like that, so you can shrink it down. And I think a stamp charm would be adorable. This is from the book I was telling you about, and I know I can use a couple of these, like maybe even just this rectangle here that says Reese's. I could make a little charm out of that, or use a circle punch or something for this Heath bar tray. I think that would be cool. This one I think would be so cute. This is maybe the one we'll do. So I'm going to take my circle punch and just punch her out. She's eating a piece of chocolate, and it is really hard to see because it's a small image, but I still think it would be cute on there. Like, somebody might not notice that's what she's doing, but that is what she's doing. It's pretty cute. All right, so if you don't have a punch that's going to work, for example, all right, this is one of the things I dropped, and this is what I was going to show you. Oh, here it is right here. Nope. Nope, that's not it. Actually, I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back. So this was from the book, and there was a little Nestle Quick. So it's an odd size, so I wouldn't have a punch for that, so you just have to hand cut those. And this will come in handy later, but I wanted to show you that. You can use all kinds of stuff. So here's a package that I thought was adorable, and I want to use this. This is one of those things that's on my desk, and I want to do a tutorial on something I'm going to do with this, but I'm not sure about it yet. So, but I thought, look at this. Wouldn't that be a cute charm? So that would be a cute charm. And then I thought even these words, cocoa brown chocolate, this is that RIT dye packaging that I told you about. So you know, look around and you'll find lots of cute images to use. So let me cut this out, and it can be paper or cardstock. Does not matter, because you're going to glue it onto chipboard anyway. All right, so we're going to cut that out. Let me set some of these things aside so I don't get them all messed up. And I think, so I'm going to sort of audition to see which size. I've got a couple of small round punches right in front of me, so okay, I think that'll be cute. I'm gonna put it like that. So she's off to the side a little bit. Well, for one thing, there's a border there, but so she's off to the side, and then just the sign starts to say chocolate. So I'm gonna punch that out. Make sure I get it right here and I'm gonna put her down a little bit so that the hole at the top doesn't interfere with her head. There we go. So I have that. Okay, and now what's great is that I used a punch. So I'm going to make two of these chipboard pieces the exact same size. But as I said, you don't need to have a punch. You'll just have to hand cut around. Okay, so, whoops. I was gonna ink it first, but I think I will just, so you just need a little layer of glue and make sure it comes to the very edge. All right, and then glue it onto one piece of chipboard and do the same thing for the other piece of chipboard. All right, so I glued the two pieces of chipboard on there, And now I'm going to decide what to put on the back. I was looking through my scraps and I found this, and this has a little recipe for Boston cream pie, so I think I'm going to use that. I think that'll be cute. I'll try to get as much of the title to that as possible. And this little ephemera sheet came from Mrs. Cog. All right, let's see. Where's my punch? Okay. I did it again. Had it upside down. Okay, there's the word chocolate. Chocolate filling. So I'm going to see how much of that I can... Oh, that'll be good. So it says chocolate filling and it has part of the recipe on it. So I'm going to punch that out and use that. That's really cute. All right, so that'll go on the back. So I'm just using my Fabri-Tac glue because it doesn't warp paper at all. Always super happy with that. And I'm going to make sure that this is facing up as the picture is facing that way. So make sure they're both facing the same way, same direction. Give it a nice squeeze. Trim anything if you need to, but that's basically it. Now, to punch a hole, if you don't have a crocodile or something that punches through heavy items, I will be using this. I've discovered on the other ones, I was using my small punch. I don't know if you can see that little, there we go. That's the size of the punch. And I'm like, well, that's perfect. It's nice and small. But I tested it out and it is the exact same size as the, let's see, the 1/8 hole punch on here. So I thought, well, instead of punching all my layers separately, I could just use this. So I was super excited when I discovered that. That was something I just learned. So I'm going to punch a hole at the top and make sure it's all lined up and punch. This is a super nice tool to have. So cute. All right, so the other thing I was thinking also is that I could put an eyelet in here. So I think I'm going to go back on these and put an eyelet in. You guys don't need to watch me do that, I'm sure. But this is pretty thick, but we'll see if that works. I'd like to do that on those. This one I probably would not put an eyelet in because her head is right there by the hole. So I'm just going to leave that one raw, or whatever you want to call it there. All right, so I do have a little hanging bit there from the leftover from the punching. So I'll just clip that off. Okay, so at this point, what I would do is either ink it up. So I might ink it. I have also used Gilder's wax. So I'm trying to think. This one is kind of a gold color. This one is a turquoise. It actually matches this other charm I made. It's really pretty. I think that would be cute on there, but for now, I think I'm gonna do ink. So basically what I'm doing is just giving it some definition around the edge, and then you want to cover up the fact that it's just chipboard. So we're just gonna make it look a little bit finished here, like that. And you can let the ink come up a little bit onto the photo and onto the back. And that just gives it some nice definition and sort of vintage look. All right, and then comes the fun part. So I'm going to put glossy accents on it, and it's a liquid like a glue. Comes out. It doesn't come out too fast, just sort of like a glue. And I'm just going to get a little scrap paper so I don't get my white paper. So, And this Glossy Accents is actually a couple years old, so it looks like it's kind of yellowed, but it doesn't come out yellowed as far as I can tell. It looks perfectly fine. I'm gonna try to open this a little bit with a pin. It's a tiny bit clogged, even though I just used it yesterday. All right. The first thing I do is flip it over. No. That's not what I usually do. The first thing I do is go around the hole and sort of make a ridge around the hole. And then I'll go around the outside edge with a ridge and then fill in the entire thing. Also want to apologize. Earlier I said my coffee journal, and obviously it's not a coffee journal. It is a chocolate journal, but I think I was just saying coffee dyed this and that, and it just came out as a coffee journal, so I did make a mistake there. I had to erase some of the memory off my camera, so I decided to watch a couple of the segments to make sure they came out okay, but I misspoke on one of them, so I'll see if I can get that also on the screen. All right, so fill it in as close to the edges as possible. It starts forming a skin fairly quickly, and so when you get it up to the edge, it's not gonna, unless you're really squirting, it's not going to fall off the edge. So, and even if it is sort of uneven on the edges, or, you know, not quite to the edge on some places and more to the edge on others, it's going to be fine. It actually looks, I think it just makes it look a little distressed, and it looks pretty cool. So all I'm doing now, I'm sorry, is just making my edge look a little bit neater. And so there you have it. It looks milky at first, so that's a little bit worrisome. Sometimes it kind of looks like, oh no, what have I done? But it dries clear. And let me see how long it says to... It doesn't say how long it takes to dry, but I found a couple hours is usually pretty good. Oh, it depends on how much product is applied. Sure. It does say do not use the heat tool to dry. So that's a little bit about that. But so it just takes a little bit to dry. And at this point, you could put in some inclusions if you'd like to, like a couple of beads or a little flower or something like that. You could do that now. It does form its skin fairly quickly. So also, I don't have any air bubbles in here, but if you do have an air bubble, it's handy just to keep a little needle on hand and just poke that air bubble out, because it won't go away on its own. And you can also sort of tap it. I don't know how. I usually go like this and jerk it down a little bit to sort of give it a more even coat, but it actually flows and it goes well all by itself. So that's basically it. If you'd like to do the back, then of course you have to wait for this to dry flat, otherwise it might start, you know, oozing down. And then when this is done, okay, so we're gonna pretend like this one's done, put a jump ring in, and you're ready for hanging. It's ready for hanging. Or you can add some separate strand of beads or something hanging down from there, like, or maybe another little charm or something. Super cute. So I think that's all I had for you today. Please check out our Etsy shop and our social media. I'll leave all those links down below, and I hope you enjoyed this, gave you some ideas, and take care everyone, and I hope you have a great week. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.